After suddenly beating up cops and robbing a whole bank, Spider-Man makes it easy for Jonah Jameson to fry him on the news, but then we see Peter shocked to hear people calling him a criminal. Realizing that someone is impersonating him, he thinks to himself that this is worse than anything any villain had ever done, until he then saw a police car in front of his house, only to run in and see Gwen sleeping, as it then turns out that her parents had divorced and her dad wants to leave Gwen with May until he comes back to town, which MJ definitely didn't like, as she didn't trust Peter not to do anything with Gwen now that she is literally sleeping in his house, afraid that she won't be the only person who knows that he's Spider-Man. He then headed back up to Gwen, who kept asking about MJ until the news came on saying that Spidey is fighting the police. Pete therefore instantly headed out, dying to confront his impersonator, only for the cops to begin shooting at him despite him explaining that he's here to help. And so when they try to unmask him, he just runs away and pulls the cuffs apart before finally managing to hide away in a dumpster, where he gets to call MJ for help. MJ eventually gets him in the hospital cause he was in extreme pain, but still had to dip out of there when he saw officers outside asking for him, where he then swung MJ home and went home acting like he's asleep for May. The next day at school, however, he would get a message that turns out to have been sent by the Wasp, who helps him deal with his shoulder injury because she saw him shot on the news. And while that was happening, the other Spidey was out getting shot by the cops until his bag got set on fire, forcing him to throw it at Captain Stacy, ultimately killing him. So when Pete walks home with Gwen and MJ, who was clearly irritated by Gwen, they get met with the police, who basically informed them of how Gwen's dad died, which made Gwen despise Spider-Man. Peter therefore wasted no time the next time his copycat tried to rob, as he instantly knocks him down and grabs him enraged, asking why he chose to impersonate him, to which he said that it wasn't personal, he's just some guy trying to get by, which Pete didn't take lightly, telling him that he painted him as a murderer. He nearly choked him to death, but then just left him with a note to the cops and went to reflect on what he's just done, only for May to then tell him that Gwen is staying with them, which caused MJ to break up with him, telling him that he's gonna die doing this and that she can't deal with Gwen, who is clearly in love with him.